Alright guys, the season's ready to begin. Before I head up to Mammoth, I'm going to wax my snowboard. Figured I'd throw a small video together to show you guys a quick and easy way to wax the board. By no means am I a professional, but it is something that's very easy to do at home just for a quick tune. So what I have here obviously is my snowboard. This is a DaKine wax iron, and I've got the DaKine Quick Tune kit. You can see it comes in this little package here, and it has everything that you need, except it does not have a ceramic stone, and I'll show you why this is important in a minute. So I've got my board here set up on an industrial trash can. It's large enough that it keeps the board stable. Also, they say you shouldn't save the wax or try to reuse it. I've never done it, but I'm going to try to do this by throwing down some brown butcher paper. And if I can't use any of the wax that comes off from the shavings, then at least it keeps the floor clean. Alright, so first thing, manufacturers suggest that you should always remove your bindings when you use an iron. Reason being is because there's pressure put on the screws in the board, and if you apply heat to the bottom of the board, it could cause some warpage, things to come loose. I guess there's different theories. I think it's easy personally just to remove the bindings, because if you don't have a jig to set the board on, you need it flat. So the kit comes with this handy tool, and I have my screw gun. I'm just going to use that. If I were at a resort or up on the mountain and I want to do it myself, I would just use the little tool that the kit comes with. So when I'm taking these off, obviously I'm loosening the screws, but when I lift it out, I'm careful not to move my binding position. I know where it is, but I just find it a lot easier just to lift it off carefully, keep the screws where they are, keep the degree adjuster where it is, and that way I can just set it on the table. Alright, so this is where the ceramic stone comes in handy and is very important. What you want to do is you want to use the stone flat on your board like this and go around, and it's called deburring. If there's any burrs from hitting any rocks, trees, anything like that, it gets rid of those little nicks and burrs. Alright, so the next thing you want to do is you want to use the edge sharpener. This tool is really handy because the board sits here, and you can see how the file is raised. So what you do is you just set it on the board and go around and keep it flush with the board, and that sharpens your edges. Since I am going to try to use or save some of the shavings, and also to get any remaining dirt or debris, metal shavings, anything off the board, I'm just going to wipe it down with some glass cleaner that I made, half alcohol, half just regular tap water. So I'm just going to wipe down the whole board, including the edges. Also, since I have my bindings off, I'm going to go ahead and do the top side as well. Feel some grit from where the bindings were. Okay, so I have my iron heated up, and I'm just going to use the regular DaKine wax that came with the kit. I'm not sure what temperature it is. Obviously, they make different temperatures wax for warmer weather, freezing weather, but this is just the regular DaKine wax that came with the kit. You can see the iron is actually steaming. So what you want to do is you want to place the wax directly on the iron, get it melting, and see it's starting to drip on the board. You just want to make like a zigzag pattern. After you have good coverage on the board itself, that's where you take the iron and directly work the wax into the board itself, into all the pores. You can see it's smearing pretty evenly. Okay, so the wax is all hardened. I got some butcher paper down here to catch some of the wax shavings, stop some of the mess. If you do have a table, I actually do have a fold-up table, but it's filled with projects right now. Our new license plate frames. So I am doing it over the trash can, which common household item. Everyone should have a large trash can like this. And I've done it like this several times before, and it seems to work well. Normally I start in the center of the board, and I'll work toward the nose and then work toward the tail, flip the board around. Just using the DaKine scraper that came with the kit. It's about 58 degrees in our workshop right now. So the wax was actually hardening as I was working it in with the iron. After I got a couple inches away from it, it would start to harden. But I let it harden throughout the whole board for a few minutes before I start scraping the wax off. So what I'm doing now is just scraping off all the excess wax that didn't melt into the pores. You don't want to leave that wax built up on your board. For one thing, it's uneven. And two, for smoothing it out with a hot iron on the board, it actually ends up kind of thick, as you can see. You want to make sure you go all the way to the edge on both sides. All right, now I'm going to flip the board around. And I know we started about right here, so I'm just going to go back a couple inches and hit the other side. All right, so now that the board is fully waxed and scraped down, now you use, it's basically like a 3M buffing pad that comes in the kit. But what you want to do is just buff the wax down. Just make sure everything is completely smooth, the wax is worked into the pores. It also makes it look just a little bit better as well. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and drop my bindings back on their original position where I had them. I'm just going to use the hand tool this time to tighten them down. The DaKine tool actually has a nice ratchet head on there, so it makes it really easy. I just turn it to get it started. and then use the ratchet motion once it starts grabbing. Cross tighten like you would with lug nuts. And then once they're completely tight, I'll go back again. Alright, put the pads back on. I think one reason why people say don't try to save or reuse the wax shavings is because it's a freaking mess. So you can see I have it all here on some butcher paper. I'm just going to fold this up. So with this, I can either save it or throw it away. No mess. All right, so those are the simple steps in waxing a snowboard. Hopefully it helps you guys out. Nothing more annoying than getting up there to the mountain and you realize that your board needs wax and it's sticking in the snow. Having to drop it off in the afternoon and wait till 8:30 the next morning to pick it up from the ski shop. I found this is just the best way to go, is just do it myself. Thanks for watching.